Assalamualaikum to Miss Nazura and everyone. My name is Siti Kerotoani binti Ilyas. Today we want to present you our group project presentation. We are from group 2 and there are 5 group members in our group. Okay, the article that have been given to our group is Stable Monetary Stance that Support Economic Growth in Malaysia. Based on article, we will discuss about types of monetary policy, situation contractionary monetary policy, and lastly, measure to tackle inflation. Alright, now we will move on to Dahlia Nadira.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Miss Nazura and everyone. My name is Dahlia Nadira binti Muhammad Zaini. Today, I'll be discussing the key differences between expansionary and contractionary monetary policies. Let's start with expansionary monetary policy. This is used when the economy is experiencing a recession or slow growth. Its primary goal is to increase the money supply in the economy. Central banks do this by buying government securities and bonds, lowering the reserve ratio and decreasing discount rates. The result is an increase in spending, borrowing, and investment, which shift aggregate demand to the right, stimulating economic growth. On the other hand, we have contractionary monetary policy, which is implemented when inflation is too high. The focus here is to reduce the money supply in the economy to stabilize prices. Central banks achieve this by selling government bonds, raising the reserve ratio, and increasing discount rates. This reduces consumer and business spending, ultimately shifting aggregate demand to the left, helping to control inflation. In summary, expansionary policy aims to boost economic activity during slowdowns, while contractionary policy helps curb excessive inflation. Both are crucial tools for maintaining economic stability depending on the circumstances. Now we already know what's the difference between expansionary monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy. Next, from what we have researched from the article, we decided that it is expansionary monetary policy. First, we look at the decision itself. Bank Negara Malaysia on Thursday kept its overnight policy rate (OPR) unchanged at 3% as its monetary stance was supportive to the economy and it looks to other measures to shore up the weaker ringgit amid modest inflation. Maintaining a low and steady OPR is essential for supporting borrowing and investment. By doing so, the central bank stimulates economic activity and creates a favorable environment for growth. This reflects an expansionary monetary policy approach that aims to provide stability and address external pressures, especially with the current challenges of a weaker ringgit. Second, the impact of this policy is visible in leisure trades and tourism sectors. Export growth is turning positive after contracting since March 2023 and will continue to be supported by stronger global trade. Tourist arrivals and spending are poised to rise further. Continued employment and wage growth remain supportive of household spending. By maintaining favorable monetary conditions, Bank Negara is enabling growth in exports, boosting tourism, and supporting household spending. These factors are key to driving economic recovery, and with a stable interest rate, business and consumers are more confident in making investment and purchases, thus contributing to a more vibrant economy. There is a significant push for investment both from the private and public sectors. The ongoing progress of multi-year projects in both the private and public sectors are poised to spur investment activities. Other factors to support investment are the implementation of catalytic initiatives under the national master plans, as well as the higher realization of investment. Expansionary monetary policy plays a crucial role here, providing a stable and supportive environment for investment projects. With low borrowing costs and stable monetary stance, both private companies and government initiatives can continue to drive long-term economic growth. The catalytic initiative and national master plans are designed to create sustainable investment, ensuring that the economy remains robust. Finally, we observe how inflation is behaving in this environment. Inflation in 2024 is expected to remain moderate, broadly reflecting stable demand conditions and contained cost pressures. With the moderate inflation and a steady interest rate, the economy is able to expand without the risk of overheating. The central bank's careful management of inflation allows for demand stimulation without causing excessive price increases. This balance is key to sustaining economic growth while keeping living costs manageable for consumers. In conclusion, Bank Negara Malaysia's decision to maintain the OPR at 3% demonstrates a commitment to supporting economic growth through an expansionary monetary policy. By keeping borrowing costs low, promoting investment, and encouraging trade and tourism, the central bank is helping to stabilize the economy while ensuring that inflation remains under control. The result is an environment that fosters growth and resilience even in the face of global uncertainties. That's all from me. Thank you, everyone.
Contractionary monetary policy in Malaysia, a deeper dive. A contractionary monetary policy would be considered in Malaysia if the central bank, Bank Negara Malaysia, observed the following. First, significantly rising inflation. The scenario if inflation were to surge significantly beyond the central bank target range, it would signal an overheating economy. This rapid price increase could erode purchasing power, destabilize financial market, and harm economic growth in the long run. Contractionary measure. Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) would likely raise their overnight policy rate (OPR). This would increase borrowing costs for business and consumer, discouraging spending and investment, thereby cooling down economic activity and curbing inflation. Secondly, excessively rapid economic growth. The scenario if the economy experiences exceptionally rapid growth, it could lead to asset bubble, overinvestment, and unsustainable economic expansions. This rapid growth could also fuel inflationary pressure. Contractionary measure. BNM might increase OPR to slow down economic activity, prevent formation of asset bubble, and also ensure sustainable growth.
To my part, do you think there is another situation, contractionary monetary policy? Yes, there is another situation, contractionary monetary policy. It's a significant depreciation of the ringgit. As we know, a rapid and persistent depreciation of the Malaysian ringgit (RM) could fuel inflation by making imports more expensive. Investor confidence will also be tainted and shake the whole financial system. What the contractionary measures? The contractionary measures is Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) might raise the OPR to attract foreign capital inflows, which will increase demand for the ringgit and help stabilize its value. A stronger ringgit will also help to contain inflationary pressures. To conclude, all the situation that happened in article, a contractionary monetary policy in Malaysia will involve raising interest rates to curb inflation, slow down economic growth, and stabilize the ringgit. However, the decision to implement such a policy would depend on a careful assessment of economic conditions and a consideration of potential risks and benefits.
Okay, now I will discuss the measure to tackle inflation. Based on the article, Malaysia has adopted a stable and cautioned approach to tackling inflation. Malaysia ensuring that it remains moderate while balancing growth. Here are the specific measures highlighted and their implications. First, is Malaysia maintaining a steady overnight policy rate, OPR. By keeping the OPR at 3%, Bank Negara Malaysia is signaling that inflationary pressure are under control. A stable interest rate environment help avoid excessive borrowing costs that could stifle economic growth. Inflation for headline is 1.5 and core is 1.8%. It's trending in line with expectation and remains at modest levels. This given the stability of demand and contained cost pressure. There is no immediate need for rate hikes. Next is price control and subsidy. The government continues to implement subsidy and price control to keep essential goods and services affordable. This measure ensures that inflation does not escalate due to volatile commodity price or external shock. The inflation outlook remains sensitive to future adjustment in subsidy and price control. Any reduction in subsidy or change in price ceilings could lead to the inflationary pressure.
Okay, now let's move on to the next point, which is support for growth and domestic consumption. Bank Negara is projecting stronger export growth for 2024, which could support the broader economy. They also highlight the importance of resilient domestic expenditure with continued employment and wage growth. As export recover and domestic consumption remain steady, this can help maintain balanced economic activity and limit inflation. Why it's important for inflation control? Sustained export growth allows Malaysia to benefit from external demand without relying too heavily on domestic consumption. This balance prevents overheating in the economy, which could push inflation higher. In addition, rising household incomes can support spending without placing undue strain on the supply of goods and services, which could otherwise lead to inflationary pressures. Lastly, global economic risk and tight monetary policy. While Malaysian internal measures are important, the article also highlights the global economic environments, noting that regional economies are expected to improve by risk, such as weaker external demand or declining commodity productions remain. Additionally, global monetary policy is expected to stay tight due to persistent inflation concern. Why it's important for inflation control? Global inflationary pressures, especially from higher commodity prices or supply chain disruptions, can affect local inflation. Malaysia responds to global tightening, particularly in maintaining a stable ringgit and controlling inflation through domestic policies. Help mitigate these external risks, the central bank's carefully monitoring of global conditions ensures that Malaysia's inflation outlook remains in check despite international uncertainties.